Hey guys, Davis here, and today I'm just going to be doing a quick rundown of my pedal board and kind of everything on it and what I'm using to wire it and things like that. So to start off, I'm playing my Nash T69 Tele through a Blackstar HT1 just for recording purposes. It's just a little 1-watt tube amp. Most of the time, though, I'll be using a Morgan AC20, but I do not have that here right now. So we're using HT1, and just kind of a disclaimer before I start. Some of these drives will sound a little bit, I guess, fizzier through the HT1 just because it's lower headroom. But they still work fairly well for each of their purposes. Yeah, so out of the guitar, I'm running this red sinusoid cable, which is a Gotham GAC1 with Neutrik ends, and then so that's going from the guitar to the pedal board, and then from the pedal board to the amp there's a Mogami Gold, which runs into a snake, which you probably can't see in this shot, but it's a snake that is comprised of that Mogami Gold instrument, a Mogami Gold XLR for a DI that's under my board, which I can use for acoustic stuff, and then also an IEC cord for the Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2 Plus, which is under the board, which powers all of these pedals. And then the patch cables between the pedals are Lava Ultramafic, I believe, with high-end tightrope ends. And then, yeah, so let's do signal chain. Start with this red cable, like I said, into the junction box, which runs to this one's mine modded VP Junior. The mod just adds a buffer and a light so that you can use the tuner out without losing any of your signal. And in the tuner out, I have a Boss TU2, which is old yet still works like a charm. So it's still there, hasn't broken in years. So probably won't change that out anytime soon. But it, I use it in the strobe mode, which I believe is called Stream on this tuner. But yeah, it works great. Next, so I guess the first drive is this full tone OCD, which I use for kind of rhythm stuff on the bridge pickup. And here's my clean tone. And for my clean tone, I always have the Timmy on with a fair amount of gain and volume. But that sounds like this. M5, I'm also using a little bit of room reverb just for a little bit of ambience to it. And then here's the OCD. So that's lots of rhythm stuff done on that. And then next is the full drive 2. So we got an OCD into the full drive 2, which does sort of the Hillsong stuff really well, I guess. It's a lot of those guys use it, and it's obviously based on a Tube Screamer or an SD1 or some combination of the two. So super, I guess, kind of classic sound, but cut mode, which has a fair amount of mids in it, and then the MOSFET clipping mode. I go back and forth between standard and MOSFET just depending on how it sounds with the amp that day, but right now I'm in MOSFET, and that's working great. So next in the chain after the full drive is the Timmy, which I mentioned earlier, and that's just kind of an always-on boost-ish thing. Sounds like that. Lots of people are familiar with that. It's a great thing to put at the end of your drives as kind of a EQ/volume control. And then out of the Timmy, we go into this Boss Blues driver, which just is working as a boost for me right now. Super low gain and high volume settings-wise, and then the tone goes up and down depending on the guitar. And that just gives me a little bit more volume on a lead part. Nothing too complicated. And then after that, we go to this Nova repeater by TC Electronic, which has also been with me for quite a while and works great. So here's that same patch phrase I was playing earlier. And that's almost always on the dotted eighth setting. Find I can use that for pretty much every song that we do at church, and then just as a little bit of taste on like my band Hearts on Fire stuff. And then I'm using the tape setting with a little bit of vibrato dialed in. And then the last in the chain before the output of the junction box is the Line 6 M5, which does just my reverb stuff. So the patch I've been using for the rest of this video has been the bass tone patch, is what I call it. It's just a little bit of room reverb. And then after that, I have a patch called Deeper, which is just an extension of that. It's a little bit of a hall, slightly bigger reverb. A little bit of pre-delay on that as well. There's none on bass tone, but on Deeper there's a tiny bit of pre-delay. Next, after that, we have the big bass, which I use for a lot of the church stuff. It just kind of adds a little bit more ambience to chord stuff and I guess leads as well. But and then the next patch after that is called Bright Washy. It's kind of a ripoff of one of the other guys at Christ Chapel's Big Sky patches. He made one called Bright Washy, and it's a plate with a little bit of pre-delay as well. That sounds like that. You can use that for some cleaner lead stuff to give it a little bit of kind of bounciness behind it, like something like this. For some reason, I'm in a pentatonic mood today, but we'll see. Then after Bright Washy, we have pad number 1, which is the Pedalboard patch. That sounds like this. Sort of digital sounding, holds it up for a long time. After that, we have pad 2, which is a cave. But again, just really sustainy reverb. And then finally, pad number 3, which is Shimmer, which I honestly don't use a ton, but it's cool when either there's not a keyboard player or situations where I want that kind of organ-y sound. So we'll go back up to, I'll use big bass for the rest of this. So I'll just do some kind of combinations of pedals to see what they sound like interacting with each other. So here we go. That's my pedal board for 2017. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.